Hello everybody, this is my first appearance with you in this model of learning. My first lecture is dedicated for discussing with you the literary genres. سموها الأجناس الأدبية, translated into Arabic الأجناس الأدبية. Literature is broadly divided, ينقسم literature is broadly divided into بنقسم الأجناس الأدبية إلى poetry. This is the most influential, the most respected by critics. Poetry, drama, novel, and prose writing. And prose. هاي الأجناس الأدبية باللغة الإنجليزية. الشعر، دراما، الرواية، and prose. بعد الرواية بقول في short stories قبل هاي. في short stories وجزء من النوفل. Short story, the short story, and اللي هو فاي prose. النثر. هذا القصة القصيرة. هذه الرواية، الدراما، المسرح، هذه الشعر. Literary critics believe that poetry is the best of all. Through poetry, men of letters and historians as well recorded the history of their respective countries and their respective literatures. Drama, what is the difference between drama and novel? One common thing between both is that they use language. But in drama, the medium we use in drama, Shakespearean drama and the Greek drama were written in poetry, were poetic. كانوا مكتوبين في poetry, شعرا. Later on the drama was written in prose writing, prose. استخدمت الوسيط للبروز. لكن Shakespeare wrote in poetry, wrote his dramas his plays in poetry. The main difference between a drama and novel is that in novel, novelists rely heavily on a literary device known as narration. السرد. Narration. السرد. Whereas in drama, events, incidents are revealed through acting things out. Acting. قيادتين مختلفتين. السرد. This is a very powerful instrument for novelists. It helps them to speak profusely about lots of things without feeling any difficulty concerning the narration. They narrate things profusely. But in drama, the events are revealed through acting. الوسيط هو التمثيل. Dramas originally were written in order to be acted out on stage, not to be narrated. But drama, we have three types of drama. We have comedy. We have tragedy, and we have tragic comics. Tragic and comics. Tragic plus comic, please. Okay. This is very important. Comedy, tragedy. Tragedy is much more sublime for critics, much more sublime than comedy. Tragedy deals with serious events, with larger than life characters, with great people. It deals with serious matters, serious issues. Tragedy, the word, tragedy well, an adjective derived from it is tragic or tragical. Tragic or tragical. Tragedy means a tragic event, means a sad event. Tragic means sad. Sad. The opposite of which is happy. Happy. Never lose sight of these ideas discussed here. Tragic means sad. So, with the in the case of a tragedy, we have sad ends. Sad ends. In other words, the tragedies end in a catastrophe. بتنتهي بمأساة. Catastrophe. A disaster. A disaster for whom? Or a catastrophe of whom? Another word for these is destruction. Destruction. الدمار الهائل. For the protagonist. Destruction of the central character or protagonist. البطل يسموه central character. We no longer use hero. We no longer use the word hero. The central character or the protagonist. الشخصية الرئيسية finally dies. Finally dies. Why? Because in the case of a tragedy, the protagonist or the tragic hero, the protagonist or the tragic hero, يسموه the tragic hero, البطل التراجيدي. Fights, struggles with enormous forces, sometimes supernatural, enormous forces which are more powerful, are very much more powerful than the tragic hero himself. قوى أقوى منه. So, in a way or another, he is deemed to be destroyed. He is doomed, يقدر عليه doomed to be destroyed. هو سيموت finally. Tragic plays are bloody ones. The atmosphere is gloomy, is dark, sadness prevails, destruction also prevails. Why? Destruction ends. Why ends the play or closes the play? Why the tragic hero finally dies. Okay. In order to evoke in the minds of the spectators or audience two emotions, pity and fear. تثير في المشاهدين أو من يقرؤون النص عاطفتي الخوف والشفقة. Aristotle deems that these two emotions are very harmful if they are left without being evoked. In order to get rid of them, they need to be evoked. Audience and readership need to get these two harmful emotions to be evacuated or emptied or tapped on. ننثيرهم عشان نتخلص منهم. عند أرسطوطل في term اسمه كاثاليس. اسمه ايش؟ كاثاليس. اسمه ايه؟ كاثاليس. التطهير. ليش احنا بنشرب شربة؟ نشرب شربة عشان نعمل تطهير كثرة. In order to get rid of the two harmful emotions of pity and fear. مش لازم هذولا يضلوا بداخلنا الانفعالين أو العاطفتين الخوف والشفقة مش لازم يضلوا هيك. Because if we live with them very, very long, they will affect or destroy ourselves. That's the mission of the drama. To make us make catharsis. نطهر دواخلنا من هذه. The tragic hero, البطل التراجيدي, tragic hero زي ما قلت هنا, is a respectable person, شخص محترم جدا, a prince, a king, a scientist. مارلو عمل في دكتور فاوستس عملوا عالم جليل في الفيزياء والعلوم. In the case of Shakespeare, we have kings and we have princes. ملوك وأمراء. في الفكر الإغريقي كمان ملوك. Oedipus was a king. Why? These people are almost complete. أنا قلت قلت almost complete. Or should be almost complete. أو في الفكر الإغريقي بيكونوا complete. في الفكر هذا إيش شكسبيريان. الفكر الشكسبيري بيكون almost complete. لكن في الفكر الإغريقي Greek literature بيكونوا إيش complete. Tragedy, whether in Greek heritage or in English heritage, deal with persons and people who are very respectable, who are very influential, who are loved by the people living around them. Very strong people, very respectable people. People that we can identify with. People we can identify with. ناس نستطيع أن نتقمص أدوارهم أو أن نتعاطف معهم. We identify with people who are very like ourselves or higher than ourselves. عشان هيك كانت تعمل في الدراما مع respectable people, highly respectable people, highly respectable people. فنستطيع التعاطف. We can identify with them. We can put ourselves in their shoes, in their place. بنحط حالنا في أماكنهم in order to be able to sympathize with them. Sympathize. Sympathize with them. بدنا إيه؟ نتعاطف معهم. كمان مرة in order to make a catharsis, to undergo the process of a catharsis. A catharsis. عشان تصير عندنا عملية تطهير. بالنسبة للدراما في Greek literature and English literature هذول علاج therapeutic effect. therapeutic effect. لا تأثير علاجي. ما مش جاي هيك بلاش. تأثير علاجي. Tragic people, once more again I repeat myself, are great people, almost infallible. Almost. ما قلتش لا. كلمة almost is very important. Almost infallible. بلطوش. Almost infallible. They have conscience. عندهم ضمير. Good people. Good-hearted people. They resemble us, or they are above ourselves, أعلى منا كمان. في الكوميك كاركترز في عندنا inferior people، عندنا lower people، تعامل مع lower people. The concept of tragic hero developed with Shakespeare. Shakespeare developed the concept of hero and introduced many modifications and alterations, many modifications on those ideas presented by Greek literature. The conflict in Greek literature is between the protagonist, the king, and gods. حرب بين الإنسان والآلهة. This is Greek mythology. لكن in Shakespeare's age في أن عصر نهضة، في أن بداية وجود الجامعات، في أن صراع مع the society أو parts thereof أو أجزاء من هذا السوسايتي، مش كله، أجزاء منه. طبعا of course you know full well, I suppose, that society is very much more powerful than single individuals. Hamlet. This is a brief introduction to the genres of literature. The essence of Jawhar, the essence of tragedy is conflict. الصراع. جوهر الدراما هو الصراع، هو الصراع. The bitter struggle. الصراع المرير. bitter struggle between the tragic hero, the protagonist, the central character, and societal powers. ممكن يكون against versus societal powers. قوى اجتماعية. To start with Hamlet. طبعا Shakespeare wrote 4 great romantic tragedies. Great romantic tragedies. 4 مسرحيات tragedies. المصطلح له معناه 4 great romantic tragedies because he wrote tragical histories زي جوليوس سيزر وزي أنتوني and كليوباترا وزي lots of things. King Richard the First, King Richard the Second, and the Fourth, whatsoever. لكن سواء great romantic tragedies اللي هي أوثيلو، اسم المسرحية أوثيلو، تتكلم عن شخص اسمه كمان أوثيلو. ماكبث، وتتكلم عن شخص اسمه ماكبث، أمير اسمه ماكبث. وهاملت، وتتكلم عن شخص اسمه هاملت. وكينج لير تتكلم عن شخص اسمه لير، كينج لير. هاي الأربع مسرحيات تسمى في شكسبير four great romantic tragedies، المسرحيات الرومانسية الأربعة التراجيدي. طبعا نيجي على هاملت which I chose for you. What is the meaning of Hamlet? If you looked up the word in your dictionary, you will find that one of the meanings of Hamlet is a small village. Never forget this one. A small village, قرية صغيرة, in a way or another, against the cosmic order. Against, عن طريق الverses, cosmic order. cosmic order بسموه النظام الكوني. هتلاقوا كثير أفكار في هذا الموضوع. طيب. Let me open my text and start discussing with you chapter 1, act 1, this chapter, act 1, scene 1. You know, in works of art, the introductory chapter or the introductory chapter in novel and the introductory act in the drama gives background knowledge. تعطيني معلومات مهمة عن خلفية الأحداث. background knowledge. خلينا نشوف مع بعض the first act, scene 1. The time and the place of the first scene, so time and the place of the first scene بسموه setting. بسموه ايش؟ الsetting. So the setting is the time and the place against which the action of or the events of the play take place. Are they important? Extremely important, because they give us information about the general atmosphere, the ideas going to be uncovered, the struggles that are going to be undergone. I want to tell you that Shakespearean language, unfortunately, is difficult. But no student of English literature will say that he is an English, he has specialized in English without covering the works of Shakespeare. That's why I decided to use Hamlet in order to give you knowledge, to inform you about part of the English literature embodied in the works of Shakespeare. Shakespeare is the essence of English literature, an unforgettable person, شخص لا يمكن أن ينسى, very influential, very effective, very powerful. Act 1 and Scene 1, we have the people, Act 1 and Scene 1, we have people entering this on the stage. يدخلوا من جانبين ويدخلوا على خشبة المسرح. Never forget that plays are written in order to be acted out on a stage, not to be read at home, like novels. Novels are intended to be read at home. وآسف أقول لكم كانت في الفيكتوريان age to be read at home by women. في عندي 2 sentinels on the stage, 2 guards, حارسين 2 enter. طبعا who's there بسأل القاعد بسأل who's there مين اللي هناك؟ بقول له no don't ask me, you need to answer me, who are you؟ انت مين؟ طب ايش بتلاحظ من اول سطرين؟ تلاحظ انه الاتموسفير في سنتينلز وفي ميد نايت، بعد شوي حنشوف ميد نايت الساعة 12 بالليل. What does night stand for? Night as a time, what does it stand for? It stands for darkness. ما فيش منتصف الليل إلا في darkness. بتحس إنه في darkness. Darkness, whether physical darkness or psychological darkness. Answer me, stand and unfold yourself. Tell me who are you? Long live the king. هاي اللي ايش؟ كلمة السر، the secret word. Long live the king. عاش الملك. برناردو يقولوا are you Bernardo؟ يقولوا he. Yes, I am Bernardo. You come most carefully upon your hour. You came on time. He came in order to exchange him, to take his duty to guard instead of him. لاحظ انه في عندك حراس، والحراس يعني انه في tension. حراس تعني guards. الجو فيه tension، توتر. الكل alert، واقف بسلاحه وبستنى ايش يصير. You come most carefully upon your hour. It's now struck 12. Get thee to bed, Francisco. الساعة 12. أقسى أنواع الظلام وأعمقه الساعة 12. Souls become tired. Sentinels become tired at 12 o'clock. For this relief, much thanks. It's bitter cold. الجو مش طبيعي. It's bitter cold. برد قارس. Bitter cold. معناه bitter cold not normal. تركز على not normal، يعني not normal. هذا يعني not normal. tension bitter cold not normal. نحن نعيش أوضاع not normal.